All you magical people, I am the Bright Eyes Tarot, and I'm here to share a collective reading. I haven't done something like this before, but I felt really tapped into the collective lately, and especially with everything going on with the election, and I sense there is a lot of people that are scared right now, and I just wanted to come on here and try and give any sort of reassurance, any sort of hope or light. I know, as cliche as it sounds, love that I can possibly give you all, because some of us really need it, and maybe I'm showing my face here now and doing it a little bit differently so I can connect with you a little bit better, because connection right now is very important. Anyway, I hope you can't hear the dog barking in the background, but I already pulled up some cards. To be honest, I forgot to start filming before I shuffled, but let's go ahead and start with the first one, which was the Five of Cups. So, of course, I felt this. It's grief, it's loss, it's sorrow and pain and disappointment. It feels like there's a lot of disappointment in the world right now, and fear. And on the night of the 6th, the morning of the 6th, I woke up to wind howling outside of my house, and it was so bad that we actually had to have the power out for 2 whole days. And when I heard the howling, the first thing that popped into my mind was the earth is angry. And it sounded as if the wind was carrying all of the voices, all of the screams and the howls of pain and sorrow across the world in America right now, especially women and people of the LGBTQIA plus community. People, a lot of individuals, a lot of minorities too. It's just a lot to remember. A lot of people that are hurt and scared, and a lot of us. So there's even wind I'm noticing on this card heading towards the sea. And the sea and the ocean is always representative of cleansing, of purifying negative energies, of basically like scrubbing off any lingering pain and darkness, and coming back out reborn and fresh. I'm thinking like the birth of Aphrodite now. It's kind of like the clamshell opens up and she's naked, and it's brand new. There's this newness to this loss. With every ending there's a beginning, right? Sorry, I'm trying to remember the order of this. I guess it doesn't really matter. We have the Ace of Wands next, which symbolizes creativity and individual power, really. There's books on this card, there's a paintbrush, there's music notes, there's, I will always advocate for turning your pain or your anger or your sorrow into art. I believe in that wholeheartedly. I believe that it is healing. I believe that it is cathartic. As a writer, I do this. I am a fiction writer. Write horror stories, and I will often input my own stories into the fiction piece that I'm writing, because when you speak from your heart, when you speak from experience, you can connect so much better with other people who have the same experiences as you, and that's how you make genuine connections, is through your honesty and your authenticity. So at this time, turn that grief, turn that pain into art. I know it's so hard to be motivated at this time, and a lot of us are probably really depressed and anxious, and it's really hard to do any of your passions when you are in that fight or flight mode. I know it's this restriction almost in your body that keeps you down, with some I experience it, so I could go into a lot of detail describing it, but for those who feel that, and for those who are creatives, which some of us, all of us are in some way or another, use those talents and to really express yourself, even just to get your own thoughts out so it's not trapped inside your own mind, or sharing it with friends, sharing it on the internet, sharing it with the world. Because I also feel this sense of power in using your own voice and the power of speaking up and not really worrying whether or not you are heard, but just using your own voice because you need to do it for yourself. And there's also this vision that I'm seeing where I'm in a dark cave and I'm cupping my hands to my lips and I'm hollering out, and I can only hear my own voice echoing back. But that echo and the length somehow guides me out of this tunnel and towards freedom and towards the light. Because hearing myself and my own truth was all that really mattered to get me out. So there's this sense of independence and pulling yourself out of a sticky, difficult situation by voicing your truth in some form of art medium, perhaps. Okay, and then we have the Two of Wands, which is beautiful. It's about travel, planning for a vacation or a trip somewhere, perhaps even to study. And he's holding the globe, right? Sorry, grabbed my hair. Which makes me think of global support or seeking community or camaraderie in places you wouldn't have normally expected. And there's this passion and this determination and drive. Like, look at that character's face. He's so, I don't know, so driven, so sure. And the little cat's admiring him. That's so sweet. So some of you might be admired for this road you're taking, for this journey you're taking. And again, there's this sense of individuality, of pulling away from other people. Probably a lot of us, I myself included, have had to cut ties with some people, and that may be painful. Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Whatever journey, whatever road we are on right now, it will lead us to community, and it will lead us to connections. Because if you see here, the Six of Wands is all about victory, yes, but it's also about, here it seems, connecting with other generations, the younger and the older. And, sorry, that was a car alarm, maybe that was confirmation. And connecting with both and understanding and believing that you can find wisdom in both. And there's so much camaraderie here. Look at all those people helping celebrate both generations. It's kind of giving a maiden mother crone situation. And six is all about balance too. So hope for the future in younger generations. I feel like that's the message that's coming through right now, is being a good influence for the young minds, for young minds, because they are very influential. And right now it feels that the world is so divided at this point, and there's just a lot of misinformation flying around, a lot of hate flying around, a lot of negative influence. And if we get there first and we reach out a hand and say, no, there's another way. There's another way of believing in things. There's another way of living. There's another way of treating people. There's another way of running things, and showing them that just because it's in charge right now doesn't mean that it's right. And no, that's good. Moving on. We have the Empress. that is, again, about creativity and the divine feminine energy. And being a pregnant person right now is probably very scary. Or the idea of becoming pregnant could be very scary in the world as it is right now. Because of... I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say on here, so you get the idea. But look at her face. Oops. And how serene and calm and sure it is. There's this sense of pride and intention. It's doing something on purpose. Making a statement, perhaps. And there's also a sense of play. Like the way that the cat is rolling around. There's this joy. And the apples in the background, to me, seem to always represent abundance. Yeah, there's this message in honoring the children. Which I feel like that can be really misconstrued. Just so you know where I am and who I am pro-choice. And I've been feeling collectively too, even before this reading, the sense of revolution and rebellion. And as women, or as people from the LGBTQIA plus community, as anybody who is being challenged by who will be in authority by the little orange devil, cowardly little man, there's the sense of rising up and showing up authentically anyway, and fighting for our own freedoms. There is a fight happening. And it feels like traveling community, using your art, honoring your grief, feeling the feelings, all the feelings, and acknowledging them, processing them, is the best way and best opportunity to create a better outcome for ourselves. Imagine that as the child here. Think of it as a new world, a new chance, new freedoms that should have always been there. There's this sense of creating the world we want to see, and that is our rebellion. Yeah, the devil. Little orange devil, right? Cowardly orange devil. Here, it feels like, because the devil naturally is about addiction, entrapment, what's the word? Temptations. Just evilness. And I feel that we can break the chains. And again, there are children here. Young minds being influenced. It's crucial that those on the side of humanity actually show up for humanity. And also show up for the earth. That's the message that's coming through, because the volcano in the background is making me think of natural disasters, which have been happening. The person that's going to be in charge does not believe that the earth is in danger. But those who know, those who are socially consciously aware and who are afraid for the outcome of our earth, of Mother Nature, this is the time to be her best supporter and to train your mind to think in a way that it is somehow always, if not benefiting the earth, not harming the earth. Because that is going to be very crucial at this point. And I don't say this to scare anybody, but to try and get you to remember what we have to fight for. The planet is dying, and we can save it with each individual action. Even though it seems so small, even though sometimes it feels as individuals we can't make much of a difference, but if we all put in the work of little daily tasks, little different changes that help, then when you look at it all together, that's huge impact. So don't ever think that you aren't impactful, because you are. There's this message too coming through about a lot of us recognizing our own worth at this time, and that could be because a lot of us are cutting out some people that didn't really see it or didn't respect it or took it for granted. There's this sense of independence again coming through, and using discernment when letting people into your lives. Yes. Okay. Oh, then we have the world. The world. The devil in the world. Well, yeah. Again, big, crazy influences on a lot of important things. And we always just have to make sure that we are aware of what's going on in the world. Even though it can be difficult to hear the news, and sometimes it's not good for your mental health. And if it's not good for your mental health, sometimes you can shut it off and fall into your self-care routine and not scroll on social media, because we have so much knowledge at our fingertips, and sometimes that knowledge is misinformation, and we just have to be cautious about what we consume at this time. As the world here, it looks like there's also wind and the coast. So yeah, wind, water, if you can go to some part of nature to reconnect and heal, then please do so. Soak your feet in just bath water if that's all you need to do. Take a shower. Go outside and feel the wind on your face. Those little things are quite healing for the soul. But the world, that means that there's some sort of completion happening, We have a verdict. We know how these next 4 years are going to go. And with the wind, there's this sense of hope and sense of kind of just going with the flow of things, but in a way that it's rebellious. So again, we have the sense of individuality and showing up as you are. And the wind is also reminding me of like using your voice and speaking out and carrying, because I said earlier, carrying voices on the wind. For some of you, you may have finally discovered who you were, and that is part of the completion. And of course, we're always evolving, we're always changing, we're always rediscovering ourselves, but there's something about the core of ourselves that some of us are just now discovering or recently discovered, and perhaps some of you are afraid to express that self now because we are in scary, dangerous times. It's the truth, unfortunately. But this card to me rings freedom of expression too, and showing up anyway, being true to yourself anyway, despite the hate that you might get, the way people might think of you, the way that they might say things to you or do things. There's this pull towards authenticity anyway. I feel like there's a better way to say that, but because when we show up as our authentic selves, then that gives people that see us the inspiration to do the same. So it's like if we have a beacon of light, we can light somebody else's beacon, and then they can light somebody else's beacon, and so on and so forth. And that is our power, is showing up as ourselves anyway. Not being influenced, not being scared back into who we used to be when we didn't feel authentic, when we felt like perhaps we were putting on a mask for society and putting on a performance just to feel safe. And some of us may still feel the need to do that just for their own safety, and that is messed up. I have to be aware of how I say things here. But you're being encouraged by Spirit to not forget who you are and not snuff out that light out of fear. There's also the sense of facing fear and doing the scary thing, the courageous thing, because that's what the world needs right now. Okay. We also have the Lovers, which is just absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Love trumps hate, pun intended. And this could be a romantic partner that you're leaning on, or it could be a friendship, community, family, yourself. It could be, you can get love from anywhere, family being chosen or blood. Because I sense a lot of people are not content with when I say happy, when they think blood. There's probably a lot of tension in blood families right now, because we are so universally divided at this time. And some people are being forced to hide. But Spirit is encouraging you, if you can, don't. Like, if it's, cause I don't want to, it's a dangerous game, isn't it? But it's what the world needs. And, you know, with the Lovers, again, I want to say love is love. Period. The end. Love is love, no matter how you look at it. And you need to just express your love and give love, and it's way more powerful than hate. It's much more powerful magic. Love is magic. And it's contagious. But so is hate. So we need to show up in the best way that we can with love in our hearts. Because I know a lot of us are still grieving, a lot of us are angry, a lot of us are going to be very spiteful and disappointed in a lot of people in the world right now. And it's important to hold that space for those emotions, but eventually we're going to have to pick ourselves up, be independent, thrive, go back to work on the things we need to work on. The soul work. And this is twin flame energy too, so some of us may be finding love at this time. And you can only do so if you are authentic. Yeah, 2 of Cups. Twin flame. I sense this person, a certain person might be coming into some of our lives and giving us a light. And I do have to make sure that I warn everyone too, that for a lot of us who are feeling lonely and isolated right now, for those of you who have cut people out because of painful truths and revelations, if you have a hole in you, do not fill it up with the first available person. Have discernment and only put the energy where you need to, where it will be respected and honored. Because you, again, like, we are all learning and recognizing our worth. And this person might be offering you something like a promise or some sort of opportunity or a gift. And some of you may be swept up in the moment and want some sort of connection. But just, I'm being told to warn you about the connections you make at this time. Because it's important to feel connected. We're human beings. We are pack animals. And it's important to find our people, our tribe, our coven. But this is twin flame energy. And you don't really want to put someone in that spotlight if it's not really who is meant for you, if that makes sense, because that's just a distraction. And we need to not be super distracted at this time. We need to have clear heads. We need to be informed about what's going on. We need to be fighting for our rights as human beings with bodily autonomy and health care. And again, I can go on and on and on and on. But it's this sense of when you show up authentically and in your own truth, you will find like-minded people and you will be able to connect on that part. And some of us need to have really strong boundaries with other people and strong, like, some of us have a list of the perfect person for them, or a perfect friend, perfect business partner, some sort of list of characteristics that they need to see in a certain person for them to hold a certain place in their life or their heart. And some of us have not listened to that list, or have forgotten that list. And we need to go back, and we need to be strict and stubborn about not letting anything else into our life unless it matches that list. Because we just have to be careful, and we have to, again, use our energy wisely and with intention. And again, know your worth. 9 of Pentacles. Some of us won't even be looking for love. Some of us might be working on our careers, working on our passions or studies, because with this card, I feel some sort of research is being done, or perhaps maybe self-discovery. Some of us might be going into hermit mode and cocooning ourselves, which is also acceptable for our mental health. Because maybe with the Lover's card, it could be just yourself that you're falling in love with all over again. And being authentic and showing up as your true and honest self is a way to do that. Because if you lie to yourself and you pretend to be someone you're not, then you're putting love in a person that isn't really real. So do a lot of self-research and discovery at this time. And that is where you will find abundance. That is where you will find security, and that is where you will find safety in knowing who you are. Because with the 9 of Pentacles, it's about having enough, having abundance, but not really having anybody to share it with. And sometimes we need that seclusion and that isolation to maybe make that list that some of us already have about the person that we want in our life, about the people that we want in our life, who we want to call in. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. Cinnamon oat milk coffee. Anyway. Yeah, there's this feeling of independence and self-knowledge, whether that be self-seeking or about yourself. That's what's coming to mind. And also it's a lot of like self-care and luxury is coming to mind. Like just doing things that make you feel happy and relaxed is really important right now. But then we also have the 8 of Pentacles, which is, okay, I love that we have 8 and 9 too. So we're working our way towards this fulfilling lifestyle that is independent and secure. If you're a practicing witch and you've been too depressed to work on anything, this is an encouraging message to try something, whether it be just opening a window or lighting some incense, lighting a candle. Some of us are forgetting our craft at this time, but it's during times that are most difficult that we need to use it the most. which is why I'm showing up here today. But anyway, this is about slow progress but steady progress, seeing results, working towards mastery. So some of us we're studying with the Nine of Pentacles, you might be working on your career at this time, or maybe even working on some sort of goal that is supposed to better the future. Feels very inventive, kind of out of the box thinking with this card right now. Perhaps you might be even doing some volunteer work at this time. But it is about slow and steady progress, about seeing results and to continuing the work. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So, sorry. Things have changed. Things are changing, but they are changing for the better. And the fact that it's focused right now on the house makes me feel like I said before, there's like rifts in the family. There's a lot of tension in family right now. And within the home, it could be really hard for people and really scary for people when they're not in a good home life. And so the message that I'm hearing right now is to keep spinning that wheel, because it's a gamble, and a lot of us gambled on the election. We had hopes for the best, had high hopes for a future of equality. First woman president, like would not have been swell, but the fight is not over. The fight is ongoing, and we keep spinning the wheel, and who knows what it'll land on. But it looks like no matter what the option is here, it's something we all need to fight for. We all need to fight for. And even though the future seems really grim and scary at this time, the Wheel of Fortune shows that things are constantly changing. The only constant is change. And once we accept that and learn to work with that, then we can use that in our advantage and try and move the needle the way that we want. Strength. And again, we have a tornado in the background, which is making me think of the earth once again. And the fight that we have to fight to preserve it and save it. And save the animals too. We have a lion there. You know, of course, it's all about courage and kindness. She could have slayed the lion instead she befriended the lion. There's also this message of knowing that people can change. Those who are cowardly can be courageous now. Those who didn't have something to fight for and now do, you know, it's your time to shine. It's your time to evolve and step up and fight. There's this inner strength that is driving all of us right now. And we all have this collective fight. Okay, and we have the 10 of Swords, which I know is scary for a lot of you, but I see the 10 of Swords as not an ending, but as a beginning, because with every ending, there is a beginning anyway. So some of us even feel like we've been stabbed in the back and betrayed, let down. But he's still reaching for that broom. He's still reaching to fight. He's down. This character is down, but he's not dead. Excuse me. The fight is ongoing. The fight is ongoing. I feel like I'm going to get one more card, actually. I'm going to split the deck. Okay. We have Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck now after I split it. And this is all about intuitive, inspired action and communicating, right? I kept talking about using your voice, and look how blue this card is. Throat chakra, right? Using your voice and using your ideas to really connect with others and move in the world in a way that is authentic and bold and inspiring. The way that she's wielding the sword right now, it's like she's so awed with her own power. And I feel that's how we all feel once we recognize that we have it. And then these bluebirds, it feels like support and hope. Yeah. As individuals, we need to work together and do our own part to make the difference, make the change that we need to see in the world. That is why I came on here today, and that is why I showed my face, to make a connection with you all, to give this message in a way that is authentic to me, and show up and try and be a light in the world, because there's so much darkness. And we're fighting it every day. So may this message receive you well. I hope that it has inspired you, motivated you, or brought you some sort of hope or love, because for those who are still grieving and for those who are scared right now, I feel you and my heart goes out to you, and I will send you all my love, and know that things will be okay. And every day we wake up and it feels like a fight, just to keep fighting. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in another reading. Bye. Take care of yourselves.